Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood.
And I'm Gary. And today we're going to review and discuss Turbo Kid, which came out in 2015. Written and directed by François Simard, Anouk Whissell, and Yoann-Karl Whissell. Iain, why don't you give us the synopsis?
Well, the story is set in the apocalyptic wasteland future of 1997. We follow the kid, who has been surviving in the wasteland since his parents were murdered by Zeus, a crime lord who controls the wasteland and the water that everyone drinks. After coming across a seemingly strange person called Apple and finding a suit used by Turbo Rider, the kid decides that he's going to try to bring justice back to the wasteland.
This was a film that I'd heard about and I didn't get to see until now. I did get to see Kung Fury and Manborg.
Yeah.
You know, those were the sort of films that were coming out around this time, which were really low budget, almost experimental films. Mm-hmm. But this one here seemed like the most complete film.
Yeah.
And other than that, it was one that I was eagerly anticipating to watch.
I remember seeing this a while ago on Film 4, you know, it just been on, and I was just like, oh, well, Turbo Kid, sounds cool, you know, it's got Michael Ironside in it. I'll watch anything with Michael Ironside in at least once. And, you know, a lot of people had said to me as well, they were like, oh man, you got to watch Turbo Kid, it's really, really fun. And I was just like, okay, I will. And yeah, like you said, it's in the same vein, I feel, as Manborg. Mm-hmm. You know, hobo with a shotgun to a point.
Yeah.
It weirdly looks low budget, but then it doesn't. You know, it looks like they've gone, right, we haven't got a massive budget, but we really do want it to look nice.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it should be said that this is a low budget film, and it was co-produced by New Zealand film company and a Canadian film company, and all shot in Canada.
Nice.
And they did a really good job with emulating the 80s.
Yeah.
This film, from its opening logo to the film's opening title to the music that's playing right at the start, I was like, this film was made for me.
For the thrill of the moment, taking a stand, you ain't gonna fall.
See, I knew you were going to like it. As soon as I watched it, I was like, this is a film Gary'd like. But you needed to be in that kind of mood for it. So when it finally appeared on the review list, I'm like, he's finally going to be able to watch it. This will be cool. And while I was watching it, I'm like, he's going to be fucking loving all this, you know?
Yes, hell yeah. I mean, the music that plays at the beginning is called Thunder in Your Heart.
Oh, right.
And that plays while he's riding his BMX bike. And I was like, yeah, I'm digging it. But I didn't realize that the music was also from a 1986 BMX movie called Rad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they did a lot of those over in New Zealand and Australia. I think Nicole Kidman was in one.
Right.
I can't remember if she was roller skating or riding a BMX. BMX Bandits.
That's it.
That was a BMX Bandits. But yeah, it immediately takes you back. I mean, who didn't have a BMX when they were a kid? I still kind of want one now. Even though I'm not allowed to ride on the street. But anyway, the fact as well is that it just starts so nicely. You know, he's around, he's scavenging. You know, he's seeing warning signs of decapitated heads telling him not to go so far, and you can tell that the kid, you know, because we don't ever get told his name,
No.
played by Munro Chambers, you know, he's a survivor. You know, he's got his notepad of maps and things that he wants to remind himself, and then when you get back to his secret hideout, you know, he's been collecting all these different things. I mean, he's got a massive collection of pink flamingos.
Right.
You know, he's got everything broken down into little drawers that he can go back to and find stuff. I mean, he's so happy when he finds a couple of batteries for his Walkman.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he's listening to the same song that you're listening to, which I thought was a great transition.
That was very well done, yeah.
And then it just cuts out, and he's then got to go to the local, I don't know, bar town.
Pretty
you know,
much,
to
yeah,
sell
yeah.
his wares.
And yeah, he basically sells a bunch of junk for water or food rations.
Yeah.
And the water he's drinking, it doesn't look good. But then again, it's better than the green water that's out in the radiated wastelands.
Yeah. But then you've got Zeus, played by Michael Ironside. A fucking great actor.
Hell yeah.
He's, you know, scanners. I mean, Terminator Salvation to a point. He's the guy who tells John Connor he's not special. He fucking does that in the Terminator series.
Well, Michael Ironside does then explode in a submarine.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, he always explodes doing something. I always loved him. I mean, doing the voice for Sam Fisher in the
Right,
Splinter Cell
yes,
series.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
love stealth games and things like that. Wasn't too sure about Splinter Cell, but Michael Ironside's gravelly tone, quietly speaking to you, you know, kind of brought you into that character a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I usually remember, for the most part, I remember him as the main villain's henchman.
Yeah,
But now
yeah.
he is like the main villain.
Yeah. Well, he was making loads of heads explode and scanners.
Yeah,
That was a good one. But he's got this big eye patch on. He's got that big metal mask that he wears, which kind of reminds me of Zardoz. That's a throwback for you there, Sean Connery in pants. And he's just got people in this giant pool fighting to the death for entertainment. It's like, fucking hell yeah.
Right. So the kid ends up being given another a comic of Turbo Man or
Yeah.
Turbo Rider, and so yeah, he takes this comic book and he's out in the wasteland just reading it, and that's where we get introduced to Apple, who has just kind of crept up on him and sat on the swing opposite him.
I don't know if I've got any tissues for you before you start creaming all over Apple like you were 10 minutes ago. I knew you'd fall in love with her. I kind of did as well when I first saw her. I was just like, wow, she's really good looking. You know, the actress, Laurence Leboeuf, she plays this kooky character, this innocent, childlike character.
Very much so, yeah.
Who immediately, you know, from all your experience of watching post-apocalyptic films, there is no way she could have survived this long in the wasteland without being raped at least once.
Well, she has her travelling companion who is a corpse.
Yeah, a corpse, yeah. And she's talking to him.
Yeah.
You know, like they've been having conversations for ages. And the kid is like, whoa, what the fuck? Because, you know, he always reminds me of the guy from Zombieland, you know, with his rules and regulations and avoiding people and things like that. And then when he comes across Apple, who I suppose stirs some kind of emotions in him, you know, she's kind of the same age, she's very attractive, you know, and he has been alone for a long time.
Yeah.
And she slaps that
Friendship bracelet.
friendship bracelet on his wrist, and he rushes all the way back home and goes to hide. But as he's trying to remove it, it shocks him and knocks him out. And this starts, I suppose, the only real problem I do have with the film is when they start to do the flashbacks.
Okay.
You know, because they don't really tell you that he's having a flashback. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, he's unconscious.
Yes, yeah.
You know, it's a dream.
There's a point when Michael Ironside turns up without an eye patch on, and I was like, wait a minute. It's a flashback.
It's a flashback. But, you know, you're just supposed to gain that, you
Yes,
know. Oh,
yeah,
it's the
yeah.
little kid, and there's a BMX bike there. This must be his mum. And the story will unfold as the movie goes on after the kid gets knocked out like 3 or 4 times. You know, and you end up just picking up the information like, oh, this is how this works. But Apple turns up
Yeah.
at the place because it turns out that the thing that she's put on his wrist is a tracking device
Yeah.
that she's following. And she wants to make him breakfast, and she wants to be his friend, and she wants to just hang out with him. He's her new buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, there's something
Something off about you.
something off about you.
I do like this film has quite a few little references and Easter eggs to other films, and you know the cereal that she offers him.
Yeah.
If you translate it, it translates to Soylent Green.
So I thought that. I looked at it and I'm like, it's French, but my French is a bit rusty. So.
Yeah, yeah. Which is of course the reference to this film about the overpopulation and the feeding people into a machine to make resources.
Yeah, Charlton Heston, classic there.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're also introduced to Frederick, the arm wrestler, who is, undefeated in the little kind of barter town that we see the kid go to. But his brother has already been kidnapped by Zeus and killed at the beginning. So Frederick has to go and try to rescue his brother. He doesn't know he's dead yet. And it's just...
This great little moment where he's outside and he's like, I've got a plan. And having a plan is half the battle. And so his sidekick's like, so what's the plan?
The plan is to take a piss.
And that's it. They go and start having a piss and the guy's like right next to him. And you're just like, you know, it's that situation where you've got this whole fucking wasteland to piss in and you piss next to me.
He likes to push him away. Yeah. He's like, he just wants arm distance. He's like,
Yeah.
personal bubble.
Your personal bubble. You know, I love it when the kid says that to Apple. She's like, oh my God, did I break it? It's just, oh God.
You stepped in my manly bubble thing.
Oh. Did I break it?
No.
But Frederick and his crew are attacked by Skeletron. Now, Skeletron is where I started to, you know, look back at the other films that I brought up. Like he reminds me of the Plague from Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, he reminds me of the kind of armor they designed in Wormwood, and he just kind of looks silly like they had in Manborg because he's got that big metal skull mask on. You never see his face throughout the film.
I appreciate that.
He never speaks
I also like
throughout
that.
the entire film.
But he does a lot with his body and his expressions of movement
Oh, yeah.
to give enough character.
Yeah, especially with that buzzsaw launching fucking gun arm
It's an
thing that
awesome
he's
weapon.
got.
I haven't seen that since Dead Space.
And he fucking nails that sidekick right through the fucking chest.
Yeah.
And, you know, Frederick's just like, oh, fuck, what a cheap move. And it's just like, yeah, Frederick has some of the best lines.
He does. He reminds me of a cross between Indiana Jones and Ash from Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
You know, just one character merged.
But he's such a cowboy as well.
Yeah.
That's I kept looking at him like he could be the cowboy of the wasteland.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But he's captured by Zeus, and Zeus wants to... You know, I was very confused. Was Zeus trying to recruit him, or is he just trying to punish him, or...
Well, I mean, Zeus seems to already control, you know, the barter towns.
Yeah.
Because he always says, "This is my land."
This is my
and
land,
you're on
yeah.
it, and he's the one collecting resources or tribute or whatever. And I guess the arm wrestler Frederick is his only competitor, or the only person who could oppose him.
Yeah, I suppose,
So,
yeah.
killing his brother to flush him out and then kill him off. It's super villainy stuff.
Yeah, but it's the whole arm wrestling fight he has with Skeletron. It's just like, oh, mincer blades, nice. And on Michael Ironside's like, yes, and fire!
Blades and fire! Ah.
I love that moment where he arm wrestles him and he's got the blender there and he just grabs his head right into
Oh,
the
yeah,
blender.
Frederick just fucks everybody up.
And that's the thing, because, you know, you're watching this film and you've got your childlike, innocent characters, you've got the nuclear wasteland, the 80s throwback, and then all of a sudden, buckets and buckets of gore.
Yes.
With intestines and blood and entrails flying everywhere, and you're like, wait a minute.
That's what I thought. When I was just like, he's going to get so freaked out when he starts seeing bits and body parts going all over the
This
place.
is awesome.
Apple and the kid are going out scavenging, and the kid is basically teaching Apple because, you know, she's so childlike. She has no care in the world, and he's saying to her, like, right, you need always to have water. You need to always have wheels so you can escape. Everybody has a bike there, which is great. And you also need a weapon. So he slaps a garden gnome on the top of a stick, and she is so excited about using it. Just watching that montage of her just whacking things, fighting, and trying to... No, you, come here. Come here. Like she's talking to an invisible person to come so she can bash him in the face with her gnome stick.
Yeah, I love that, the Karate Kid reference.
Yeah.
Where he's like, strike first, strike hard, show no mercy. It's like Cobra Kai.
What's it? She punches him in the eyes, kicks him in the throat, and then kicks him in the balls. I'm like, I'm going to use that one. Thanks for that. Yeah. But Apple is kidnapped by another Wastelander, and the kid ends up being chased. And falls off his bike and finds the hidden secret base or crashed vehicle of Turbo Rider, who it turns out in this universe is not just a comic book hero, he's actually a real guy.
Yeah. And he plays the transmission that was sent for the Turbo Rider about how he was Earth's last hope of winning the war and ending the apocalypse before it began.
Yeah. And
but there's just a skeleton in the cockpit.
I'm like, this guy's definitely fucking dead. You know?
But I think his reaction is a little bit... I mean, this is the kid's icon. This is his hero. And he kind of just downplays it like, yeah, I guess I'll put on the suit, but I'll not put on his helmet. I'll keep my own.
Well, his helmet was damaged.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of cool because I was looking at the kid before he put on the armor, and it was kind of 80s iconic with the elbow pads and knee pads. I'm like, what the fuck are you wearing that? Safety first, what? But then when he puts on the armor but mixes in his own little thing, he himself becomes Turbo Kid, I suppose.
Which is power glove.
Yeah, oh man, that fucking glove. Like, where they spent a lot of their budget on the gore and the special effects when he shoots people.
Yeah.
And that fight with the scavenger, it's just the face off. The scavenger launches his chained
extended
arm,
glove,
and the kid fires the shot, and the body just obliterates.
Yeah. I haven't seen bodies explode quite so joyously since District 9.
Yeah.
They're great.
Because, I mean, I was expecting... First time I watched it, I knew there was blood and guts in it, but I didn't expect that plasma blast to just obliterate bodies like that. I'm like, wow, that was really fucking cool. But the kid ends up going to Zeus's pool party because this scavenger has sold Apple to Zeus, I suppose. And you have Frederick, Apple, some random Wastelander, and then the kid all inside the pool. The kid has already tried to shoot Zeus with his plasma fist, but it needs time to recharge. Which I'm like, man, fuck it, it's gonna tweak in at the weirdest points, isn't it? He's going to be down on his luck and ready to die, and then all of a sudden this thing's going to go boop, fully charged.
That's the thing that quite annoyed me a little bit about the film, was how inconsistent his wrist power glove was.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes he can fire off multiple shots, and then sometimes he gets to fire off one shot and then the power's out.
Yeah.
And how quickly it recharges just changes throughout the film. You never see him have to recharge it. How it recharges. You don't get any of that. It's one of those things.
Yeah, it's just he's got these magical powers now. But the fight in the pool party, oh my god, I was
awesome.
Fucking dying.
You see them make the game plan. He's just like, right, you two take that one, you take that one. You're gonna have to be creative because he's a big one. I'll take the biggest one because he looks like the strongest. And the guy runs with his knife.
Oh god,
and he trips up and falls straight on top of it.
It's like with the kid, when the kid fucking... I said he repeats what Apple's already told him, but he slices the guy's eyes, then his throat, and then kicks him in the balls when the guy's blatantly fucking dead.
And the top of his head still spinning around.
And then that goes flying over to Frederick, who has obviously lost his hand, and the other guy he's fighting has stabbed him in the wrist, so blood's pissing everywhere, and then he grabs the guy's helmet and jams it in this guy's eye, and blood's still pissing everywhere. Apple's just running around crazy with her stick like, ah! And they kill everything. Our heroes kill everything, and this is where Zeus explains his big plan. That he's got this machine, and that basically, and it's really cool that Michael Ironside explains it to you scientifically as well, about how much water is actually in the human body. And if he throws a body into this mincer, he can make gallons of water, which he can then sell to the public. Soylent Green all over again, but with water. And the kid goes to kill Zeus right there and then, because his power glove is recharged, but Skeletron shoots him, and he ends up shooting the machine instead, blowing up the place, and the three of them escape out into the wasteland.
But before they can escape, Apple is shot.
Yes.
And, you think she's dead, but she gets back up. Like, okay. And then during a conversation she's having with the kid, you realise that there's some blinking lights on her chest piece.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's a robot. Knew it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty... I called it almost instantly, as you said, how has she survived being out here in the wasteland, being naive and innocent almost, you
Yes,
know,
totally.
to what's going on. And yeah, she's a friendship robot.
Yes. But she's losing hearts.
Yeah, again, as a video game reference, they look like the Legend of Zelda's health bar hearts.
And the kid now, who he's built this relationship with her, you know, they are very close friends. You know, he wants to rescue her. He wants to fix her body, and so he ends up heading to the robot graveyard.
Yeah,
which it's kind of weird because obviously you got all that green smoke there and stuff, and I wasn't too sure if it was poisonous or if it was just
sort of radiated water.
Yeah.
Well, they had a problem with the fact that they wanted it to be the desert wasteland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it rained almost every day. So like, okay, we're not going to get rid of all the water, so let's just colorize it green to make it look like it's radiated.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I mean, that was the thing that threw me off because they've got all these robots in the wasteland, and it appears.
But they all look like crash test dummies. I'm like,
Yeah.
they don't look like robots.
But, you know, going off the back of reading the comic books with the kid, where in the comic books, Turbo Rider is fighting the evil robot army.
Yeah.
You know, and wanting to save the girl. And so you're like you said, how did the apocalypse happen?
We
Was
don't
there
know.
a
Was
robot war?
humans
you know?
versus humans, or like
You know, humans
robots.
versus robots. Did humans have robots have slaves? Was it kind of like a Cherry 2000 kind of thing going on? Because nobody else seems to have any other robots.
No.
You know, Apple is probably the best model that we've seen, and you've got all these crash test dummies. But the kid removes her head and tries to attach her head
To another
body. After the head has been removed by Skeletron.
Right,
I remember, Skeletron turns up and takes her head off with a blade, which was kind of cool just watching it spin. But the kid obviously passes out again and is rescued by Frederick. And we go through this flashback now properly of reliving the kid's childhood. And his parents had been living out in the wasteland. They had a water supply, and Zeus had turned up with Skeletron and wanted the water from them, and he was going to take it by force, and so he kills everybody. But the kid escapes after his mum has shot Michael Ironside in the eye with a crossbow.
At first I was just like, wow, you know, Michael Ironside took that like a champ. He didn't even scream or nothing. It broke the arrow out of his eye.
Just carried on playing golf with her head. So they go for the final battle against Zeus and his cronies, and you have Frederick and the kid all ready to take on this small army, and it just turns into a fucking... Oh, God, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, Frederick's got his metal arm, so he's just punching people left and right, taking on 3 guys at once. But the kid cuts a guy's body in half, and one half ends up on top of one guy's head, and the legs end up on top of another guy's legs, and the people are just walking around blindly with body parts on top of them. It's like, what the fuck?
It is a clusterfuck of blood, guts, and entrails, and funny quips. It is nasty, but it's amazing, you know.
Yeah, that really good-looking female kind of bodyguard for Zeus.
Yes, yeah, the one in the big steel plate.
Yeah, she's beating the shit out of the kid, and then Apple, who's managed to come back online, tracks the kid all the way back to the battle, and she's riding her little fucking pink BMX bike with this unicorn kind of toy on the front of it, and rams it into this girl's back, and you're like, yeah!
Is that a Blade Runner robot reference?
Yeah, I suppose it could be. I didn't even think that. Yeah,
but yeah, I was like, I'm sure that unicorn would have been made of plastic or something.
Yeah.
And it impaled right through her body armor.
Yeah, I threw logic out the moon.
Oh yeah, of course. You kind of have to, but part of my brain was still fighting it.
Yeah. But the kid ends up getting his glove all powered up and just starts fucking blasting people left and right. Body parts are flying all over the place.
Even blast Michael Ironside, Zeus, to pieces.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah. Zeus Zeus pulls out his gun and just starts fucking shooting people. He's like, that's how you do it. And the kid gets up and just blasts him with his gun.
I was a bit annoyed because I was like, every time that fucking glove has hit somebody, they've exploded into blood, guts, and entrails. That Michael Ironside, so boss.
Yeah, he just
takes it.
Took it, and I'm like, the first time I watched it, I was like, what's going on? But in my mind, I'm like, there must be something special about him because he
Yeah.
hasn't died. And when Michael Ironside reveals himself to be a robot, you
It's
know,
like, oh,
it's like, oh yeah, but why didn't I ever think? Why didn't I think?
I
that?
knew that Apple was a robot immediately, but then I was like, no other robots in the film.
Yeah, that's it. But I love the way the kid's like, you're a robot, and Apple's like, yeah, you didn't know. And you're looking at Apple like, is she the smart one? Did we miss something?
I guess robots know other robots.
Yeah. But I mean, Michael Ironside starts to build up like a BFG blast of energy in his mouth, and is just kind of irradiating them or electrifying them, or
getting ready to.
Yeah, doing something to them, and then.
But it was more like, I'm just going to stand here now and pose for 15, 20 seconds whilst you kill me.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. You know?
That's
well,
what they do.
They kick over this mega bomb that they'd found earlier, which they tried to blow up, but it came up with an error message, so it didn't work. But they kind of rolled that at his feet and then kind of mini nuke.
Yeah, just take him out.
But in order to survive the blast, Apple throws herself in front of the kid to protect him one last time.
Yeah. And I suppose it's kind of emotional, you know, that
Yeah.
you kind of wanted the kid to get with Apple. I mean, I did.
Well, I mean, yeah, they you know, there's a couple of points in the film where it's like, oh, they're going to kiss. And then it's like, oh, no. And he had that really great moment under the umbrella.
Yeah.
You know, after he'd impaled Skeletor and, you know, lifted it up.
Yeah.
And they're stood there and the blood's pouring down at them. You're like, oh, this is great. And then they have that kiss. You're like, yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, but you know, it's just kind of weird because after everything's done, he buries her body, and Frederick says to him, like, you know, you've saved the wasteland. After they blew up the bomb by Michael Ironside's feet, all the water underneath the ground had come up, so now the wasteland has got a water supply, and the kid is actually the hero. He's even a bigger hero than Frederick.
Yeah.
You know, but it's, you know, Frederick says to him, like, what are you going to do now? And the kid's like, I'm just going to go see what the rest of the wasteland's like. You know, in a way of, I can't be living in fear, I've got to go out and help more people. I'm like, yes, but you're still going to be alone. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's like Mad Max.
Yeah. But he's got a power glove.
Yeah.
That can, you know, make people explode.
And a BMX bike.
You don't need anything else. I got quite a few memorable sequences from the film. You know, a lot of the film's quite memorable.
Yeah.
Mainly the characters. I really loved the kid and Apple. They were really great together.
Yeah.
The first favourite sequence is probably going to be the arena fight.
Yeah.
Because that's when you get to realise how gory and over the top and violent and cartoonish this film is really going to be. And so just montaging all these bits together for you, you could just see how goofy and comical it really is. And it's very effective, you know. It doesn't gross you out that much, it just entertains.
Yeah.
You know, there is a memorable moment that does gross you out slightly, and that is when the guy that was kind of running Bartertown.
Yeah.
He gets captured by Zeus, and he's sat in this chair with his intestines strapped, and Skeletor is kind of Skeletron is on this bike, and he's trying to get information out of him as to where the others are.
Yeah, and the bartender just drops all the info, like, yeah, I'll fucking tell you.
And he's like, so you're going to let me go now? And Michael Ironside's like, look, do you know how long it took me to build this? Like, there's no way I'm letting you go now.
Just going to try it out. And they start unraveling his intestines.
Yeah, that was the
That was
gross
good.
out moment for me, but funny, very funny. I love the hearts on her wrist display, on her heads-up display, which tells her how much energy she's got left. I was like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And the blender to the face, you know. I when he pulled the head back up, the mouth was closed, and it was to cover a lot of the debris. But I don't know. I would have preferred the mouth open, but then again, you wouldn't have seen the effect very well. So they hid some of the effects that didn't work so well by having them move quickly.
I'm trying to remember what Frederick did to that guy in the last fight. I can't remember how it ended up, but he ended up ripping the bottom jaw
off and then sticking it in the top of his forehead. Yeah.
That was pretty fucking gory.
Yeah. There's so many gore shots in action sequences that your brain is still just trying to process what you just saw as intestines are falling out of the sky.
Yeah. The whole film is like one big memorable scene. It's Michael Ironside's moments. You know, some people would say they're goofy and cheesy, but it's fucking Michael Ironside. You know, if you've seen enough of his performances, I mean, Rico's Roughnecks. Whoa, you know, fuck that shit. He does eat up all the scenery, but it must have been so good to be in that presence. You know, seeing this guy actually having fun.
Yeah.
So it makes everybody else feel relaxed, and then it kind of bleeds through the film while you're watching it that it must have just been a fun production to do. You know, yeah, okay, it's low budget and it's stupid and gory, but you know, we're not making The Color Purple here.
No.
You know, we're not making fucking Blade Runner. We're making a, you know, Turbo Kid. Like I said, the pool party was fucking awesome. I mean, between Apple just breaking off from the plan and beating on that guy with her gnome stick, to the guy falling on his knife, you know, which is better than the guy falling on his gun in World War Z.
Well, it's because it's comical, and World War Z shouldn't have been comical.
No, it shouldn't have been. That was just fucking stupid. But anyway, I digress. You know, all the gore sequences are just, you're expecting them, but then not expecting them to the extremes that they do go. You know, Apple teaching the kid how to fight. You know, eyes, throat, and testicles. And while she's talking to him while he's on the floor, like, oh, fuck. It's just great. I loved all the little weapons that they had. I mean, the kid at the beginning sellotapes 2 hammers together facing other ways, and it's like, that's a really fucking cool weapon. You can throw it. You've got, you know, 2 different weapons to fall onto. And then you see that guy in the end who's got the 2 hammers, and you're like, oh, he's got the same idea, and it turns into a nunchuck. You're like, oh, he fucking upgraded. Yes, it's just all really, really fucking fun.
It really is, which is why it should come as no surprise that I'm definitely recommending Turbo Kid. It's very entertaining, and it's wonderfully charming and refreshing. It's comedic gore done right. The relationship between the kid and Apple is sweet, it's funny, and it's engaging. It's very well shot and paced and edited, and the music in particular was great. All the 80s synths you could want. The gore is so over the top that it's comical and gross and often slapstick in its nature, but it's pure 80s nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's clever and tonally perfect. Plus, Michael Ironside in an eye patch being crazy evil.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally recommend it as well. You know, the nostalgia hits you and makes you feel like you watched this film when you were a kid.
Right.
But then the gore and the adult themes kind of come in, and you're kind of glad that you're an adult to understand it, to incorporate it all, and you think, wow, this really fucking works.
It's a Saturday morning cartoon with buckets of gore.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it Saturday morning with your kids.
No, it's not for kids, but it's for grown-up kids.
Well, yeah, you know, late teenage, hey, what do we watch? Let's watch fucking Turbo Kid. It's funny as fuck. And Michael fucking Ironside. Enough said.
Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.
We are going scavenging.
Love scavenging!